Today, we're going to write lyrics to a song, and we're going to see if AI can do it better. I've had a motif for a song stuck in my head for quite a while now, and I'm ready to write the lyrics. If you're new here, hi, I'm Cash the Composer, and I'm writing a musical about Lavinia Fisher, a woman who was mythologized as a serial killer, but was actually just an unfortunate woman who was executed unjustly for her love. If you're intrigued by this concept, today's your lucky day. This channel is devoted to detailing the development of the show from conception all the way to production. Check out past videos on the channel after you finish this one to see the process of researching the show, and go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Right now, I'm in the writing phase, focusing on the technical aspects of writing the book, and that includes the lyrics. The subject of today's video is a solo for our protagonist entitled Black and White. For context, Lavinia was actually black, a freed slave married to the nephew of her former captor. It seems from the statement released upon their death that while John, her husband, was viewed with compassion by both the public and the clergy that attended to the pair, Lavinia was treated with hostility and disdain, with Reverend Furman describing her as having wrong passions and feelings. So, this title is a rather in-your-face play on words. Yes, it refers to their races, but it also references newsprint, that common phrasing. As discussed in my last video, I love a good double meaning. In today's video, I'm going to challenge myself to see if I can write a better set of lyrics than ChatGPT. We're going to read these lyrics out loud as prose so that we can judge the lyrics solely based on their own merit. Now, to be fair, Sondheim once said, "Lyrics, even poetic ones, are not poems. Poems are written to be read silently or aloud, not sung. Some lyrics, awash with florid imagery, present themselves as poetry, but music only underscores, yes, the self-consciousness of the effort. In theatrical fact, it is usually the plainer and flatter lyric that soars poetically when infused with music." So we need to keep that in mind. We have to consider the musicality of the lyrics, not viewing them as poetry, but as a song that's just missing its melody. Finally, we're going to see exactly how much effort it takes to beat AI. I'm going to write 4 sets of lyrics, one in 3 minutes, one in 30 minutes, one in 3 hours, and a final one in 3 days. In reality, these lyrics won't be finalized until they're actually being sung at the opening performance. But we'll stop at 3 days to get a benchmark. We'll see just how long it takes for me to write something that is unequivocally better than ChatGPT. Maybe I'll have to do 3 weeks or 3 months, maybe even 3 years, or maybe 3 minutes will be enough. Is this scientific? Hardly, but it's not like I'm having this study peer-reviewed, nor is it an experiment anyone would want to duplicate, right? So, on with the show. Alright, so we're going to begin with some narration. For our 3 minutes, I just barely had enough time to get the words down on the paper that I already had floating around in my head. Now, these words were not words that I had fully thought through at this point, so they didn't flow quite well, but, they had a general sense of being. So, for an example, the first stanza was, "The truth is hardly black and white. The people, they say what will sell. It don't mean nothing at all, except they're going to hell." It doesn't flow quite right. The rhymes are very basic, but it's a good starting spot. Then we're going to move on to our 30-minute section, giving me a little bit more breathing room. Here I started with a grid of 5 columns. The first column is vowels. The second is sounded consonants. The third is unsounded consonants. The fourth is prolonged held consonants, and the fifth is weird consonants. So this grid is my way of writing down the alphabet to help me with writing rhymes and just generally finding words when I need a different word for a sentence for whatever reason. Word choice matters a lot. Anyways, I then started writing some new stanzas, some of them being reiterations of previous stanzas, and some being new things. And you can see here I start to slow down a little bit because I'm having to come up with things that haven't already been floating around in my head, so it's a bit trickier. And you can see I start to lose my mind a little bit here and start to roll my eyes and get really frustrated. That happens every time I write a song. It's not fun. And over on the side, I'm writing a bunch of words that rhyme or replacement words that I might be able to use for a certain spot. And here I'm looking up synonyms because I am struggling so much. But eventually I figure it out and I finish writing just in time for that timer to go off for 3 hours to start any second now. And there it is. Our 3 hours have begun. So I don't normally write under time constraints like this, so having that 3 hours meant that I could kind of slow down and relax a little bit. So I rewrote out all of the lyrics again, and that let me see them a bit more clearly in a new page, in a new setting, in a new context. And I was able to start looking at the word choice a little bit more closely, go and get a kombucha, have a nice time, really just start thinking more about whether the words flowed both in the voice and in the ear the way I wanted them to. And then I started thinking about the journey of the song, where I wanted it to start, where I wanted it to go, where I wanted it to end. And I started matching up these sections of the song to the areas of the journey that I wanted to portray. And I started thinking more consciously about the emotion behind the words, the intention behind everything, and things start to come together at this stage. And you can see I stop writing as frequently as I'm thinking more and putting things down on the page less. And you'll see as time goes on, it's more and more of me reading and muttering to myself and less of just writing things down on the page. All right. Soon enough, we're going to get into this point where I'm just going to be reading to myself and looking down on the page and crossing my arms and drinking my kombucha and not really seeming to do anything at all, but I promise, in my head, the gears are turning, things are happening. I'm heading to bed, but I can't stop thinking about that one word in that one line in that one verse. It's like a deceit, a lie that the public is being told that's sensational, that they want to believe because it's like, oh my God, but like there's a word, and I think it starts with a D or a C, but I cannot remember what it is, and it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm not gonna be able to sleep. So there is the question of meter. The truth is hardly black and white. It's very, iambic, but do I keep that up throughout the whole thing? The people, they say what'll sell. It doesn't quite work. The people, they say what'll sell. I mean, almost. It don't mean nothing at all. No. So, you see what I mean? Like, the stresses don't fall consistently. So I'm wondering, does it still work? The truth is hardly black and white. The papers, they say what'll sell. It don't mean nothing at all, except you'll go into hell. I mean, yes, okay, there's some match up in those two lines, but then as you keep going, they call me a villain, a monster, a slave. Got that but da 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 da, which works. Or any other name, or any other name, or any other name. I don't know. So basically, like with things like this, the meter. Consistency is key for not just the singer, ease of getting through the song, but also for the audience so that they can hear it well. I want to avoid unnecessarily difficult things. So with this song, I need it to be consistent so that the actor can, adapt to it immediately, even if it's weird upon first glance, and so that the audience can hear it and understand it immediately. That is the key here, I think. Mutual understanding. Because if the actor takes a long time to approach the material in the first place, then how am I going to expect the audience to be able to understand the material when they listen to it just once, right? So yeah, that's why the meter is like, ah! So there's something bothering me about my word choice on So call me a villain, a monster, a slave. I like slave. That doesn't sound right. I like the word slave as the final word, but the others don't have that kick to them. Like the word kick has that k sound, which is very percussive. And I really like percussive words so that the actor can kind of spit it out. That little like graph that I did, it shows, 5 columns. First you have the vowels, second you have the sounded consonants, and third you have the not sounded consonants. I don't know what the actual words for these are, but this is how I think of like the words in my head, or the like letters in my head. And then you have the sustained consonants, and then you have the weird guys. So Q and X and C, where either they have multiple pronunciations or they are just weird, like with qua and x. Yeah. Anyways, so with sounded vowels, sounded consonants, you have duh, or like j. So it's not just air; it's got that vocal thing behind it. So it's not as percussive in nature, whereas things like t, k, and ch are just air. There's no vocalization behind it. So those are the kinds of sounds that I want in these words here, but especially because I end on slave, which is one of those sounded consonants. So it's a sounded sustained consonant. So yeah, I'm thinking like sinner, that doesn't work. Villain, that doesn't work. Monster, that doesn't work. You've got t in there, but it's at the beginning, so it doesn't, or the beginning of the second syllable, so it doesn't really work. Yeah. Oh God. Seductress was one of those words that I initially had in there, but it kind of gets lost. Seductress is just bleh, lots of sis. Yeah. Villainess is one of those words that, villainess, it's not clear. And especially when a character is, speaking with a very strong accent, you don't want to use words like that are unclear. And besides, it doesn't have that percussive nature. So I'm just trying to think of what words have the meaning I want with the sound that I want. And I'm this close to pulling a Shakespeare and just making some shit up. I've come up with a bunch of great words, but unfortunately none of them work. Because, like, rapscallion, it's a great word, but it would not work. Like, son of a bitch. I can't use just the word bitch because it doesn't feel right. I can't give a better reason than wretch might work. Varmint. We're not in the Old West. I don't know what the f that is. Oh, God. Yeah. Jerk. Again, doesn't work. Especially since, soda jerk is where that comes from. And, like, it doesn't... It's not historically accurate. Oh, my God. Is it? Am I not... Okay, I have to go look up where the term jerk comes from because I thought it came from soda jerk. And, yeah, okay. Hold on, I gotta go look this up. Okay, so I looked it up, and apparently jerk originated as, like, a jerking motion well before, like, soda fountains and things were a thing, but the actual term of calling a person a jerk, it started around 1935 when soda jerks became a thing, and it somehow became a derogatory term around that same time. We aren't sure of the exact origins. So it's not historically accurate. Not that I would have been able to use it anyways, because you don't really call women jerks. This is what happens when I'm writing lyrics. I go down rabbit holes on words, etymology, in order to just learn the history of a word. Like, you see what this does to me. It has been an hour and I've been reading about the etymology of jerk. And I still haven't written this goddamn line of lyrics. Okay, so I was looking for synonyms of because I thought I could potentially use that, or wretch, one of those two, as one of the words in this line. And on the Google search for synonyms, there were two words that were hidden for being vulgar. And I was like, should I click on these? Should I potentially use these? They might be like very strong language. You probably can imagine the two words I was thinking of. And so I clicked on it, and those two words were bugger and sod. Okay, so I'm leaning towards call me a crook, a wretch, a slave. Because you've got a. You see how it kind of gets bigger? So that transition of the vowels helps it, get more intense as the line goes on. Plus crook, wretch, slave. V is not a very enticing ending, but that a really carries it. So the way combined with the few little things that we have. The percussive. Do I sound crazy? I probably sound crazy. A crook, a wretch, a slave. Let's go with that. Alright, so I just stepped out of the shower, and while I was in the shower shampooing my hair, I had an amazing idea for the song. I thought of something, and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. I need to remember to write this down as soon as I get out of the shower. My mistake was that I didn't immediately get out of the shower and write it down. And I've forgotten, and I'm going to spend the rest of the day trying to remember what I forgot, knowing full well it is gone. Okay, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is I remember what I forgot earlier today in the shower. The bad news is it's not as good as I remember it being. So there's that line in like the second to last stanza that's like, I wish I could fly far away from here like a bird. It's too wordy. So I was thinking it would be like, I wish to fly far from here or fly far away like a bird. Neither of those really flows the way I want it to. So I realized I could switch it up and make it, if I could fly far from here like a bird. If I could fly far from here like a bird. It has a lot of fuzz, which is a very soft sound. It can be very percussive if needed, but repeated like that, it's very soft, very sweet, and followed immediately with but they damn me with every word. All those buzz and does. It has that dull thud to it that's kind of like that shooting down the bird from the sky kind of feeling to it. I don't know, does that make sense? A lot of the process for me of writing lyrics is thinking about how the words themselves actually sound. Basically, like, what if every person in my audience is a synesthete? Are they going to see the thing in their head that I'm trying to portray on the stage? That's a weird way of putting it, but that's essentially what I'm doing here. Alright, we are at the end of day 3. My alarm is about to go off. And I can tell you that barely anything has changed to you, but a lot has changed to me. It's mostly little things like word choice, and things like, do I use the article a or the article the? Do I say they? Do I say and? Little things like that that don't seem to matter until you say it out loud, and then it rolls off the tongue better. And because it rolls off the tongue better, it goes into the ear better, which makes for a better song. Yeah, so here we are at the end of the road. Alright, it's gonna go off in a few seconds. There it is. Hey Google, stop. Okay, so here is the final product that is definitely going to change before the actual musical happens, because nothing is set in stone until it's on the stage. So, this is what I got. The truth is hardly black and white. The papers, they say what'll sell. It don't mean nothing at all, except y'all going to hell. They call me a crook, a wretch, a slave, or any other name. They buy me and sell me, they lie to me, tell me they're killing me just the same. I see the way they look at you, and the way they look at me. The color of my skin is all they need to cast the blame. The truth is hardly black and white. Eager rules the heads round here, and what's in them hearts ain't love, just cowardice and fear. So call me a crook, a wretch, a slave, all vitriol and hate. So buy me and sell me, so lie to me, tell me your sorry words too late. It's the truth I so desire, beneath my anguish and my ire, but it's far too late for me. Tie me to the pyre, go ahead, light the fire, for the truth it cannot be. The truth is hardly black and white. I ain't no sinner nor a saint. Your eyes ain't so blind you can't see the pretty picture they trying to paint. If I could if I could fly far away like a bird, but they damn me with every word, a lie to which they've all been lured, sensation and reality blurred. To call this justice is absurd, to call it anything but murder. The truth is hardly black and white. You'll find me somewhere in the gray, somewhere in the light, hidden out of sight, giving up the light. No, wait, giving up the fight. I can't read my own handwriting. This ain't a game, I ain't gonna play. The truth is hardly black and white. Let's see how ChatGPT does.
Verse 1. In the ink-stained echoes of this wretched cell, the tales they spin are a twisted spell. A story carved in shadows, dark and vile, paint me a villain with a cruel, false smile. Pre-chorus, whispered lies turned to iron chains, prejudice feeds on my deepening pains. In the pages of their twisted plight, I'm the terror they've conjured from the night. Chorus, black and white, they draw their lines so clear, in the headlines, their hatred's insincere. Black and white, the ink bleeds in disgrace, my soul's condemned, erased without a trace. Verse 2, they see the shade of my skin, not my heart, the fear they spin tears me apart. He's the repentant, while I'm the sin, a painted devil for the white man's whim. Pre-chorus, in the eyes of the righteous, I'm a specter, a beast, while he's forgiven, they say the truth is least. The reverend's words, a mask for his spite. He pens a ghost story to fit his narrow light. Chorus, black and white, the lines they draw so clear, a verdict passed, based on what they hear. Black and white, their ink stains my name. A tale of woe wrapped in unjust shame. Bridge, no chance for truth, no breath to clear my name, in the sepia dusk of their malicious game. I'm bound in chains of paper, not of iron. A soul confined to the judgment of the siren. Verse 3, oh, to rise from these pages, break the bars, to show them the truth beneath these scars. But here I am, my life a fleeting spark. Their bias burns me, leaving just the dark. Chorus, black and white, the story's drawn so tight, in the corners of their minds, they hold me in fright. Black and white, the ink that seals my fate. A heart laid bare, but it's too late, too late. Outro, in the twilight of this cruel, darkened tale, my spirit lingers, while the truth grows pale. Black and white, oh, how they blind their sight. Lost in the shadows of their unjust fight. Verse 1, here we are, in the depths of this prison's night, and the pages paint me as the demon in the light. Look at me, love, and see what they've done, they've spun their tales. And I'm the wicked one. Pre-chorus, they say you're penitent, while I'm the dark disgrace, their biased scribes, their unforgiving face. They see your heart, while my soul's erased. In the black and white of their wicked haste. Chorus, black and white, they draw their lines so sharp, you're the saintly one, while I'm the villain's mark. Black and white, they've tainted every word, they don't see the truth, just the lies they've heard. Verse 2, they've branded me a siren, a seductress of the night. While you're the repentant soul in their so-called light, you stand there silent, as they cast me down, their ink-stained fingers pulling me to the ground. Pre-chorus, they fear my skin and my spirit's fight, and paint you pure while I'm the blight. The reverend's script is a mask for his scorn, crafting a tale where I'm forever mourn. Chorus, black and white, they draw their lines so cruel, in their minds, I'm the beast they used to rule. Black and white, their ink spells out my doom, a fate sealed tight in a biased tomb. Bridge, oh, how I wish for a chance to defy, to shatter their lies and see the truth fly. But here I am, with their shadows closing in, a story in black and white, where justice can't begin. Verse 3, see me now, love, in their cold, cruel print, I'm the demon they've conjured, the endless hint. You may be the saint in their twisted tale, but I'm the ghost they've bound in this darkened veil. Chorus, black and white, they've drawn their lines so deep, in the ink of their hatred, I'm condemned to weep. Black and white, their judgment's harsh and tight, they've lost the truth, lost sight of the right. Outro, so here we stand, our fate sealed by their spite, I'm the shade they fear in the black and white. Black and white, this tale they've spun so vile, while the truth of our love fades into denial. Verse 1, here we sit, in this drear prison's hold, and they paint me as a terror, wicked and cold. Do you see, dear heart, what's become of our name? They've twisted the truth, and I'm shamed by their claim. Pre-chorus, they say thou art repentant, while I am the blight, their scribes craft tales in the dead of the night. They see thine virtues, whilst my spirits cast low in the black and white of their scornful show. Chorus, black and white, their lines are drawn so stark, thou art the penitent, and I am the dark. Black and white, their ink seals our fate, they know not the truth, just the lies they create. Verse 2, they name me a seductress, a fiend of the night, whilst thou art the saint, in their so-called light. Thou standest so silent as they cast me aside, their ink-stained hands bind me, while thou dost abide. Pre-chorus, they fear my hue and my spirit so bold, and paint thee pure. Whilst I'm left to scold, the reverend's pen is a mask for his spite, he crafts a tale where I'm lost to the night. Chorus, black and white, their lines are cruelly set, thou art the saint. And I am the threat, black and white, their ink doth condemn, a fate wrapped in their biased hem. Bridge, oh, how I long for a chance to break free, to shatter their lies and reveal what's to be. Yet here I am, bound by their scornful plight, a story in black and white, bereft of true light. Verse 3, behold me now, dear, in their cold, harsh script, I'm the demon they've summoned. In shadows equipped, thou mayst be the saint in their twisted design, but I am the spectre they've fettered in line. Chorus, black and white, they've drawn their lines so tight in their ink. I am marked with light, black and white, their judgment is unjust, they've lost the truth in their pages of dust. Outro. So here we remain, our fate sealed by their spite. I'm but a shadow in their black and white. Black and white, their tale is cruelly spun, whilst the truth of our love is forever undone.
Now, I don't know about you, but it seems clear to me that even 3 minutes of human work developed something better than ChatGPT, even after several prompts. No, mine isn't perfectly written with perfect rhymes and perfect meter and perfect form, but it's full of raw emotion, character, and comes through with a clearly defined voice. It's not regular, instead waxing and waning at intervals according to just what vibes in each line. It doesn't try to use high concepts to make itself deeper than it really is. It just accepts itself for the sentiment that it has and just lays it out there bare, plain, and simple. And most importantly, we go through a journey in the song. ChatGPT has a lot of flowery language with a lot of very simple rhymes and a very regular meter, which means that there isn't much developmental capability in the song. It's too regular. It's got one feeling that remains stagnant throughout, with no motion at all. It's hard to feel anything when the words are so repetitive. And yes, mine is repetitive too, but each repetition says something new. It's not merely hammering a point home. But maybe you disagree. Of course, I'm partial to my own lyrics. I wrote them. What do you think? Comment below and tell me your thoughts on my lyrics versus ChatGPT's. And remember, kids, AI should be used to do your laundry and your dishes so you have more time to make art, not to make art so you have more time to do the laundry and the dishes. Rage against the machine, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all.